Hi everyone, good morning. We'll start with our today's session. So I'll just switch off the camera so that we don't get any connectivity issues, and we'll start straight away. In case the sound is not very clear, kindly let me know via the chat box. Thank you. So, good morning everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Diviana, and I am the cybersecurity analyst at Stay Cyber Safe. So today our session is breaking BEC. BEC meaning business email compromise. Before we start, please note that the session is for 1 hour, and we will dedicate the remaining 15 minutes of the session for Q&A. So any questions you have, kindly add it to the chat box, and I will get back to you after the session during the Q&A. And also note that all resources and follow-ups that are being done today will be sent by Business Station after the session. You can also check the YouTube channel of Business Station for all the resources and information being provided during the sessions. So we'll start straight away. So what is BEC? Business email compromise. Why is it so dangerous? During our previous sessions, there was a session where we spoke about social engineering. And social engineering is a technique which is usually used when it comes to business email compromise. Social engineering is when scammer will use psychological manipulation to trick users, naive users, into making mistakes and giving away very sensitive information such as your banking details, your username or password. And these emails, these sensitive information will be used by the attacker to gain access to your email account, and those attackers, they will try to scam you. And the main objective of scamming you is usually money, as you know. And by scamming you, they will even scam your employees or clients, whoever they can, just for the main objective of getting money out of you. So why is business email compromise so dangerous? Around the world, business email compromise, so I will refer to BEC very often. BEC is, around the world, the biggest cybercrime threat to all organizations. In Australia only, BEC caused the highest losses across all scam types, for example, phishing, identity theft, investment scams, and the highest losses is only in BEC in the year 2019. Nearly 132 million Australian dollar were lost on business email compromise. And these are studies made by the Australian Competition and Consumer Protection, ACCC, and there's a specific scam report that were published. You can check the ACCC for more information, and it has very good information as well as statistics when it comes to BEC and all other type of scams. We don't want to make you scared. We're just telling you that BEC is a very dangerous threat to organization, all types of organization. So that's why we want to educate you on how you can protect yourself, protect your business, and protect your employees when it comes to BEC. So if you see, these are the main type of scams that you will usually notice. Usually, these are the type of scams. And as you can see, BEC, the one in yellow, it's 38.7% compared to the other one. So BEC is the biggest scam, and it keeps on growing. We say that everyone is a target, and usually when you hear of a cyber attack, you would hear very big businesses which are published on the news. But nowadays, SMEs are the target of 43% of all cyber crime in Australia. And this was a study done by Norton in 2017-2018, and they also told us that the same study tells us that the SMEs are getting more and more of a target nowadays, and this will become like more in the coming years. especially with COVID and all SMEs going online, it is likely going to increase quicker. So why do you think SMEs are getting more and more targeted? Usually it's because of the SME size. So in an SME, you have a lower number of employees compared to big enterprises, and the few employees that you have in your small business, they will have access to a large amount of information, and those information are very often sensitive, confidential information. And scammers, they look for these type of people who have access to large amount of information and who are a bit naive when it comes to protecting themselves online, and they will target those people. And because SMEs, they don't have, they have quite a limited budget when it comes to cybersecurity, and also because of the limited budgets, they don't have the required, dedicated skill set when it comes to cybersecurity. They are perfect targets for scammers, for social engineers. Again, we don't want to make you scared. These are just stats that we've seen for the year 2019, and it has been provided by the ACCC, which is accessible to all of you. If you look at the second table, so this is a breakdown of scam by business size. So you will be among the top three, so micro, small, and medium, where it's the micro starts from 0 to 4 staff, and the medium is 20 to 199 staffs. And if you look at the number of scams reported, so the smaller the businesses, the micro ones, the bigger are the reported amount of scams. And look at the amount of losses as well. So the medium ones is the biggest, but still for micro businesses to have a loss of nearly 1.4 million, that's a big amount. And then by business size, that was all type of scams. But then when you look at the scam type, which is false billing, this is the one that has been reported more among all the other type of scams. And false billing is a type of BEC, business email compromise. And nearly 2.6 million has been lost only in the year 2019 by SMEs. So how does BEC work? So look, as I mentioned earlier, there's a lot of social engineering that is used when it comes to BEC. First, the social engineer will identify the target. So they will gather as much information about the target as possible. And usually it's from data breaches that leak personal information, such as full names and email addresses, but they will also look for information that are shared online, for example, on social websites like Facebook, LinkedIn. And if they see people publishing too much information, they will use those information against you. That's why we always say, publish only the information that will be that is important. Do not overshare. And as soon as they've identified the target, they will develop a pretext. So a pretext is made up of a scenario used to trick a victim. And here it's just like a fake scenario. So the practice of developing a fabricated scenario in order to elicit information from a target. So they will try to make a scenario just to get information from you, to make you provide them with sensitive information that will be afterwards used against the target. And after developing that pretext, they will engage with the target, usually to gain trust. And most often it's via phishing emails. So they will send you a phishing email, they will try to do, like, trick the victim, trick the target, to make them believe that they are actually trying to help them, for example, but instead they're trying to get information from them. And then finally they will steal that information, and information is same as money, or they will just trick that victim to make a payment, for example, if that person is settling payments or invoices or dealing with service providers. So this is how usually a business email compromise will work. So again, this is just a flow. So the scammer will research, will find for that potential target. They will actually build a profile of the target or the organization, and then they will find the target from there. And they will use phishing. And with phishing, you are aware about the fake domains that are used, and they will just use fake account details. They will send you phishing emails pretending to be someone else, for example, the CEO of an organization, or they will pretend to be helping you, for example, being an IT person, and then they will execute their plan by sending those email requesting for financial transaction, for example, settling a bill, and of course they will hide all tracks, and they will transfer the money out of their account to a different account, just hiding tracks. So there are a few types of business email compromise. Usually there are 5 common ones. There are more, but we are going to look at 5 common ones. And the first one is where the scammer will use false invoice scheme. So they will pretend that they are sending you an email, they are contacting you on behalf of suppliers, and they will request you to make payments. For example, they will tell you that you owe money, and then they will ask you to settle your payments, and you should do it ASAP, or you will lose one of your accounts, or you will stop getting information about something that you really need for the business. It depends on the type of information that you're sharing on social media, and your employees as well are sharing on their social profile. So make sure you limit the type of critical information that you're providing everywhere. And the second type is, again, the CEO fraud. This is pretending to be someone else. So an attacker, they will impersonate someone from a different company. For example, they will pretend to be a CEO, or they can even pretend to be you as the owner of the organization and send an email to your employees who is working in finance, and they will ask the employee to transfer money to an account that they are looking after. And so CEO frauds, they're usually done by phishing, spear phishing, executive whaling, and of course social engineering. Social engineering is everywhere. We're going to look at more of the type of CEO frauds that you will often see in real world. So when we say phishing, phishing is when the scammers will trick you. They will trick you into giving out personal information or sensitive information, such as your bank account numbers, your passwords, your credit card numbers. And they will do it usually by asking you, they will send you a phishing email, and they will ask you to click on a link and ask you to change those details. As soon as you click on the link, or if you're downloading something, they will capture your credentials and they will save that and use that against you. Spear phishing is the same process, except that with spear phishing, they will target a specific person. Like if the attacker knows that John or Jenny has access to payslips, or is doing all the service providers invoice settlement, so they will target that person because they know that person is dealing with money, with finance. And then whaling is again target at someone, but someone which has a very high level position in a company, for example, the CEO. So that was the 2 types of common business email compromise, but we have also account compromise. Account compromise is where a request for payment is made by a compromised employee's email account to vendors listed in their email contacts. So what happens, someone accounts, for example, one of your employees' account has already been compromised because they were victim of a phishing email attack. And then using that person compromised email, they're going to contact vendors listed on her or his email contacts, and then they will try to get more money out of the vendors. So using a compromised account to scam other people. And those payments afterwards made to fraudulent bank accounts and then transferred to their own accounts just to hide tracks again. And we have also the executive or C-level impersonation. This is very similar to a CEO fraud. And The attacker will impersonate an executive responsible for sensitive matters or financial transaction authorization. Very often that attacker, they will contact that C-level through email or phone, or they have their own tactics. For example, they will contact the person very start or end of the business day. So very start, you have lots to do and you're trying to get everything done because you have lots of important email on your mailbox. You want to get everything done. So you won't pay attention to the small mistakes that person is doing. You just want to get the work done. Or at the end of the day, when you're very tired, you just want to go home and you just want to finish and go home. So whatever information that person is asking you, the scammer is asking you, will just provide to them. You won't pay attention. So make sure you don't act on the spot. Every time there's something suspicious, like a suspicious call or an email, step back, look at some red flags. And I will talk through the red flags as well in the slides to follow. And the last one usually is data theft. Data theft is also a very common type of business email compromise where HR and bookkeeping employees will be targeted. So they are targeted in order to obtain sensitive or personal information, which we often call PIIs, about the employees or executives. Because HR, they have details such as employees, banking details, pay slips, and the scammers, they will try to steal this information and use that again against those people. So this data can be very helpful for future attacks. So whatever information that has been stolen by the scammers, they will use those information to do further attacks and of course get more money from other people. So these are the 5 types of most common business email compromise that we have been seeing over the years. And now we're going to look at a small case study because we want you to be able to identify in case you are being scammed, in case you're getting a phishing email. So if we look at this email, this is like a generic one that we've taken, and we're going to break it down just for you to be able to in case you're getting anything, any suspicious email, you'll at least be able to identify the red flags and okay, maybe step back and think, is this a suspicious email? Is this a scam? So let's look at some of it. So first, when you get a suspicious email, check the sender. Does the email address or the name match those of the sender? For example, here it says Susan Fry, but then when you look at the email address, very often it will, if it's a scam, it will mention someone else's name, for example, Jack, but the name is showing Susan Fry, but the address is different from the name. The second one, is the email address from the client or supplier domain? So, for example, this one, you need to look at the rest of the content of the email. For example, if you're getting an email from Telstra, and then when you're checking the domain mentions some name that you cannot even read, or a different name like PayPal. So why would you get an email from someone working at Telstra and talking about Netflix? So make sure you pay attention to these type of details. And very often you would notice that when you're getting suspicious emails, scam or phishing emails, they will make the subject very striking. For example, they will say urgent, please handle ASAP, or they will just say urgent on top, so that you have to like leave everything and go and attend to their email. So this is just to create a sense of urgency. So this is actually a red flag. A red flag because it is triggering a sense of urgency. You will have to leave everything and attend to their email. The next one, if your hosting email is properly configured, very often they will flag an email as suspicious if they can recognize it from the domain. So make sure you have the proper configuration on your email as well, the host that you're using. And very often phishing emails, they will not address it to you. Instead, they will say dear user, dear colleague, or dear client. If you are with the service provider, if you're dealing with a supplier, they will know you because you are the service provider or the client. So they will address the email to you. They will have the details saved on the database. They will know you. They will address the email directly to you and not say dear user or dear colleague. And here, this one says, can you handle the attached ASAP? I can't take calls, so just email me if you have questions. So here they want you to reply to the email and get a confirmation that you're a valid target. And they are telling you that they cannot take calls. So that's just to avoid communication, but they're asking you to confirm via email to confirm that you're a valid target. Because they are just using your email to try if there's someone at the other end. And if you reply, so it's like confirming that you're actually a person, so you can be a target. And again here, can you handle the attached ASAP? So that's again, they're asking you for an action first, but then they are also putting some red flags here, like you have to do it immediately, fear, because it's from the COO, and the COO is one of the boss in the company. I need to act quickly, so it's urgent, and you are scared that you might lose your job if you don't action now. So you will tend to do an action without thinking because it's coming from the CEO. And here, does the signature match that of the organization? Very often with phishing emails, you would notice that the CEO, if like it's a phishing email, they will mention CEO, but there won't be any signature. So you should check if it has the signature. If there is no signature, call the CEO or get in touch with a valid email from the company. Do not just reply to this email. And last one, sorry, with the background. Very often you would notice on phishing emails, there will be typos, there will be errors. So because they are typing quickly, they will tend to make mistakes and they will tend to make the email very informal. So these are some of the red flags that you would note on phishing emails. So anytime you get an email which appears suspicious or you are a bit like not sure about, just try to go through the email and check for whether there are any red flags, whether you can see any of these things. Sometimes there might be not all of it, there might be part of it. So if you're worried about it, get in touch with the supplier or the person who sent you the email via the contact details that you have, or just go to the legitimate website and get the information, the contact information from there. So how not to get begged? So how not to have a business email compromise in your organization? First, educate your team. Because you're working in a team and your team is usually very small, and they, as I said, they have access to lots of information which are often very sensitive. Educate your team on the red flags that we've seen, on the information that I'm sharing with you today. Educate your team with whatever you're learning today, and ensure you have multi-factor authentication on. Please refer to our previous sessions if you haven't attended the multi-factor authentication session, and it was on the passwords, passphrases, and pins session that we did, if I'm not mistaken, the second one. Multi-factor authentication is just additional inputs that you have to do to authenticate yourself. For example, on top of your email address and on top of your username and password, you have a code which is generated and sent to you on your phone. So that's the additional factor which is required to authenticate yourself. And usually, especially if you're dealing in payroll information, in finance, everywhere where money is involved or sensitive information is involved, try to enable multi-factor authentication if it's allowed, if you have the possibility or if it's there. And make sure you have some policies and processes and controls when it comes to your businesses, for example, and with regards to your emails, because very often you're sharing sensitive information on email, And you don't want people outside of the organization getting those information. So make some policies and controls so that, for example, if you're forwarding email, should they be allowed? And if allowed, it should be monitored, like seriously monitored. And I spoke a bit about the red flags and psychological triggers. So psychological triggers is when these sense of like triggered in you, for example, curiosity. These are the 5 ones that you will often see. It can be one or a combination of a few. Curiosity, greed, fear, helpfulness, and urgency. So whenever you get a suspicious email, there will be at least one of these psychological triggers in the email. Sorry, where you're being asked to act quickly, or you're tempted to click on that link because it sounds it's very tempting, because you can see that you're going to get some money, or you're going to win the lottery, or you're going to be among the first who are going to participate in a survey, which is going to lead to a prize afterwards. So these are some of the triggers that you will often see on phishing emails, because they want to pull you in, they want to hook you and then get information from you. And we also spoke about oversharing of information on social media platforms, for example, Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn. Share information, but only share information that will be useful for your business. Don't share information that will be used against you. For example, if you have a new contract where you are dealing with sensitive information, why would you publish that on social media? So beware of the type of information that you're sharing. And do not click on links just because they sound too good to be true. If they sound too good to be true, they are probably scammers. Don't click on link or social media website just because they are tempting. And often, how you can recognize if those links or unknown links are fake, you can hover over the link. You won't be able to do it on your phone because you don't have a cursor where you can hover over those links. But every time, for example, if you have a phishing email, just wait until you are at your desk, or if you have your laptop, and then hover over the link. There it will give you the exact part where you're being redirected to. And if it's if the phishing email is talking about PayPal, and you're getting a very long path where you're being redirected to, which is very different from PayPal, then that's a scam. Backup your files regularly. You need to do your backups daily, actually, because if you don't backup, in case there is an unplanned event, your business won't be able to continue as usual. So backup is actually very important, and you should test if your backup, they're available, you're able to access it anytime. And of course, it should be in a separate, safe location, for example, the cloud, or on a physical server somewhere else, not in your office. In your office and somewhere else, there should be several backups. And with your applications, your devices, your operating system that you're using in the office for work, make sure they are up to date with patches and any security update. Why? Because if you don't update your operating system, you are opening yourself to threats, to risk. There will be vulnerabilities on your operating system which hackers will exploit. So you don't want to be at risk. Make sure you have updates on a regular basis and you install them as soon as they are available. So what should you do if you get backed? If any of your employees have been have clicked on a link and you have been backed, immediately, as soon as you can, report the incident to your IT or your managed service provider. And you should also make sure that you reinforce controls like policies, control processes. For example, change your password to all your online accounts and review where things went wrong. So what happened? How did you get back? Why did you click on the link? So review where you made that mistake and try to act from there. And of course, check your data and backups and in case someone was able to delete your data or move your backups. So make sure you act quickly that as well. And you should also inform your clients, because you don't want your clients or contacts to get fake information, or like, for example, vulgar emails sent to them, or like asking them for sensitive information. So inform your clients if in case some emails were sent from your account to them, that you have been scammed, and you're attending to it quickly. And you should also check for any unauthorized activity. For example, if someone was, by mistake, you provided your banking details to someone, immediately contact your bank and check for any fraudulent transaction that might have been processed, so that you can stop it immediately with the bank. And of course, if you have a cyber insurance, refer to the policy. We do have, you do have lots of help that you're getting from the government here. And the cyber.gov.eu is a great website, and you have lots of information that you can use for your small businesses, for big businesses, as well as for individuals. Make sure you check for the website. And I spoke about multi-factor authentication and how to turn it on. Make sure it's on. And this link will take you there. We're going to share it during the chat box if you want, but also it will be sent by Business Station after all the sessions. You will get all the resources and links. And with your privacy settings, about not sharing too much information, make sure you regularly check your privacy settings on your social media platform. For example, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. You should make sure that whatever you're sharing is available to your contacts only, or the type of information that you're sharing and who you want it to be available to. And the e-safety guide, it will guide you through some of the common apps. For example, Facebook we mentioned, Instagram, Snapchat, whatever type of apps that you're using for your business, it will take you through on how you can configure your privacy settings. So make sure you check the e-safety guide as well. And in case you have been backed again, ID Care Headline is a great resource. Those people who you can call, they are not tech people. They were actually non-tech people, and they will guide you through on how you can be helped in case you have been victim of a business email compromise. They will direct you as well to the right organization. Report Cyber as well. Report Cyber, they have very good resources when it comes to SMEs, and make sure you report to them in case you have been victim. And as well as ScamWatch as well. And ScamWatch, what's very good about ScamWatch is that you can subscribe to alert whenever there is a new type of scam. Whenever there's a new type of scam, you can receive alerts on your email if you subscribe to the newsletter, and they will tell you exactly the type of scams that are the latest ones and what you must watch out for. So make sure you subscribe to ScamWatch as well. These resources actually they are very good. You should share it with your contacts and your employees as well. Have I Been Pwned is a great tool. It has been developed by an Australian guy, Troy Hunt, and here on this website, you can check if your email address, any email address, work, personal, has been in a security breach. And once you put in your email address, you click on Pwn, it will tell you exactly all the websites where that email address has been breached and what type of information were compromised. And if in case your username has been compromised, of course you should make sure you're changing it right away. And it gives you the information in terms of the latest one first. So for example, if you have occurred a breach on the email that you're putting in 2020, that will come first, and and those which were compromised in 2016 will come last. So make sure you use this resource as well, and you can also check for your password, because we recommend that you use strong password, unique password, and of course complex password, which is a combination of lowercase, uppercase, numbers, and special characters. Because if you make your password complex, unique, and long, it takes longer for malicious users to crack your password and software, of course. So, and this website is actually a great tool as well, and it doesn't take your website the password that you're typing in online. There's just a local script which is run on your device, and it is checked within your device itself. So make sure you check if you're using the correct password as well, or passphrase. Thank you. I hope I gave you some great information. Make sure you follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook as well, and Twitter for all the latest information on cybersecurity and the latest threats. So now I will attend to any questions that you may have. Thank you. Please let me know in the chat box if you have any questions. I'll be very happy to answer them. Thank you. Hi, Carol and Junior. If you would like, I'll just take you through some of the links that I've showed you. I'll show you how to use. Yes, Carol, I'm looking at your messages as well. I'll show you how to use one of the websites that I've just shown you. Okay. So if you want to use to check if your email address has been in any breach. So this is the website that I told you about earlier. So what you can do, just type in here your email address, any email address. If you want me to check for you, just drop it down in the chat box. Would you like any of you like me to check your email address if it has been in any breach or anything? That's fine. It's fine. I'll just take I'll just go through it instead of like putting an email address. So here you type in the email address and then you click on pawn, and as soon as you click on pawn, it will tell you if you have been in any breach. If it's red, then it means you have been in a breach. Else, if it's green, then that's okay. It will tell you you haven't been in any breach. But in case if it has been breached, don't panic, because here it will tell you, it will list all the websites where your email address has been in a breach, and then it will tell you that the kind of information, the type of information that has been compromised as well. So read through them and make changes accordingly. Of course, you won't be able to change your username, but you can change your passwords. That's first. Check the chat box. The next one that I'll take you through is how secure is my password? So this is where you can check your password. As I said earlier, nothing is being taken online because a local script is run on your machine. So what you can do, I'll type in a password. For example, password 1 is one of the worst passwords that you shouldn't be using at all. Never mention password in your password. So, and I'll type this here, password, and I'll show you how quick it can be cracked. So I've just typed in here password. I'll copy this for you to see. This is what I've typed. Oops. This is what I'll type in password here, and I'll copy this and paste it here. See, this is password, and the longer usually your password is, the longer it takes to crack. So if I keep on increasing the length of the password, it takes longer to crack. So make sure all the passwords that you have on your online accounts, make sure you check if they are strong enough and if no one can crack them. How often do I change my password for email? We recommend that you change your password on a regular basis. It can be different. There are different school of thoughts, but our recommendation is that you change it on a regular basis, at least every 3 months. Why? Because in case someone gets hold of your password, and they would be able to log in once, but if you change it on a regular basis, they cannot log in in a second time. So that's why we recommend you change it often. Every 3 months is okay. I use a kind of formula with the site name. It depends. You should check the websites. The websites that you're using, are they known websites? Are they secure? Just check for the reviews on the website first before you use any website. I'm not saying it's a bad website, but check if the website has a good review before you use any type of website. Anything else that you would want me to look at? We still have about 10 minutes. I'll take you through ScamWatch a bit. Oh, no, I'll take you through actually, I shared a link. I shared the link on where it is. Yeah. Yeah. How to turn on multi-factor authentication. So make sure you check for this This is the Australian cyber.gov.au website, and it will tell you what is multi-factor authentication and how you can turn it on for your Apple ID, Facebook. So these are all the common apps that you usually use, especially for your businesses. So make sure you check it and you enable it for all your apps. And of course for your Apple ID as well, because in case someone is able, why we want you to use multi-factor authentication is like, in case someone was able to get your username and password, for example, if your account has been in a breach and they managed to get your username and password, they will still have to crack the third level, which is the third factor to authenticate before they can access your account. For example, I'll give you an example with your banking card. The banking card is actually a way of, it's a type of multi-factor authentication. So the first factor is the card. The card is because it's something that you have. The second factor is the PIN number, it's something that you know. And the third factor usually would be a code that is generated and sent to your phone number or to your email address. So even though they would have those two first factor, they will still need the third factor to be able to access your account. That's why we recommend that you enable them everywhere, everywhere it is possible. You should make sure they are on, and especially with your social media accounts. So this is one where this is a great link as well. Make sure you use it, and for your social media accounts, make sure you check your privacy settings. And this eSafety Commissioner is a great website as well. This is Australian, and they provide you with all types of resources, educators, kids, young people. So it's not only about a type of generation. It's everyone can use the eSafety Commissioner website, and you will have very useful resources that you can share with your employees as well as your loved ones, family, parents, anyone. And you might be very familiar with some of these apps, and all these apps, they have multi-factor authentication. They have also safety privacy settings that you can configure. Make sure you check these as well, and you configure your privacy settings on all the accounts that you're using. Okay, so yes, so what else can I help you guys with? I hope you found all the information quite useful, and you're going to change your password as soon as we're finished. You're going to review all your privacy settings, and well, not change your password, of course, change your password if it's not secure enough. You're going to review your privacy settings, you're going to enable MFA, and you're going to share all the information with your team, with your employees, because you don't want them to be at risk. You want them to know all types of red flags, triggers, and ways that they can protect themselves and the organization. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Carol. Thank you, Junior, if I'm pronouncing your name well, for joining us. And I'll see you for our next session next week. Thank you. Bye. Yes, Carol, the recording will be sent by Business Station, and it will also be available on the YouTube channel of Business Station. So make sure you check the website. You're welcome. Thank you all. Bye.